Great downfalls do not begin with the final mistake. They begin much earlier, in small, almost invisible decisions. And the most dangerous part is not falling. It's falling without realizing it, because when the fall becomes visible, the pattern has already been in motion for a long time. The Bible was not written just to tell what happened, but to reveal how it happens. It exposes consistent patterns of human behavior, repeated decisions, predictable paths, inevitable consequences. And here is the point that almost no one realizes. Downfalls were never accidental. They followed a silent script. Before every tragic ending, there was an ignored beginning, a tolerated thought, an apparently harmless choice, a deviation too small to be taken seriously. This is not coincidence, it is a pattern. The invisible always comes before the visible. And maybe you think these stories are far from your reality. But the same cycle continues to happen today, in your decisions, your habits, your daily compromises. Because the problem was never a lack of information. It was a lack of awareness. Today, you will not just hear biblical stories. You will decode systems. You will see the signs that usually go unnoticed. And as we move forward, you may begin to recognize something uncomfortable. Maybe you have already seen these patterns in your own life, but ignored them. And that is exactly how every downfall begins. Code 1. Overconfidence. Samson. Judges 16:15-20. Samson was set apart, strong, chosen. But he began to play with his own limits. He revealed his secret little by little until he no longer had control. The mistake was not weakness, it was overconfidence. He believed he would always have another chance. Maybe you are already at that point. When everything works, you relax. You stop paying attention. The pattern is clear. The more you test the limit, the closer you are to crossing it. Code 2. Impulsive decision. Esau. Genesis 25:29-34. Esau traded his birthright for a bowl of lentils, a moment of hunger, a permanent decision. It was not a lack of intelligence. It was impulse. This happens all the time, trading what is valuable for immediate relief. And here is the danger. Quick decisions can lead to irreversible losses. The invisible always comes before the visible. Code 3. Lack of self-control. Cain. Genesis 4:6-8. Before acting, Cain was warned, "Sin is at the door, but you must rule over it." The warning came before the fall, but he ignored it. Uncontrolled emotions turn into wrong decisions. Maybe you've felt this before. Anger, envy, comparison. The problem is not feeling, it's not governing what you feel. Code 4. Disguised distraction. David. 2 Samuel 11:1-4. At the time when kings went off to war, David stayed home. The fall began before the mistake. It began in absence. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this is where most people fail. Not in chaos, but in comfort. Great downfalls begin when you step away from what you should be doing. Code 5. Wrong influence. Solomon. 1 Kings 11:1-4. Solomon had wisdom, but allowed his relationships to shape his heart. It was not a lack of knowledge, it was influence. The environment always overpowers intention when it is not guarded. Maybe you don't realize it, but the people around you are shaping your decisions right now. This is not coincidence, it is a pattern. Code 6. Partial obedience. Saul. 1 Samuel 15:9-23. Saul spared what he should have destroyed and justified his choice. He did not fully disobey. He adjusted the command, and this is the invisible mistake, adapting the truth to fit your will. Just this once, it's not that serious. The pattern reveals, almost right still carries consequences. Code 7. Silent pride. Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel 4:29-33. The king looked at everything he had built and said, "Is this not the great Babylon I have built?" Pride took the place of awareness. And when that happens, you lose your sense of reality. The most dangerous part, pride doesn't look like a mistake until it's too late. The bigger the ego, the greater the fall. Now pay attention. Do you see the pattern? None of these downfalls began at the moment of destruction. None of them began with the visible mistake. They all began before, small, silent, almost imperceptible. And this is exactly where everything connects. Decisions form patterns. Patterns shape behaviors, and behaviors determine consequences. This does not happen randomly. There is a sequence. There is a cycle. And the most dangerous part, it is subtle in the beginning. Almost no one notices when it begins, but everyone feels it when it ends. And this is where most people fail, because they wait for the impact instead of identifying the pattern. This is not only happening in biblical stories, it is happening now, in your daily decisions. In the small, it's not a big deal moments, in the compromises that seem harmless. The question is, are you aware enough to notice the signs, or do you only react when it's already too late? The code of the fall was never at the end of the story. It has always been at the beginning, hidden in the choices no one sees, but that define everything. Overconfidence does not bring you down immediately. It relaxes your vigilance. Impulsiveness does not seem dangerous until it costs something irreversible. Uncontrolled emotions don't shout, they accumulate. Distraction doesn't seem like a mistake until it takes you out of the right place. Influence does not force, it shapes silently. Partial obedience doesn't seem like failure, but it distorts the outcome. Pride doesn't destroy quickly, it disconnects you from reality little by little. Do you see it? Nothing starts big, but everything ends big. This happens all the time, with anyone, at any stage of life. Now the question is not whether this exists. The question is more direct and more uncomfortable. Are you aware enough to interrupt the pattern? Or are you right now repeating the beginning of a downfall without realizing it? 7 minutes of wisdom, a lifetime of results. This was today's code. Ancient code. What has always been there, but almost no one noticed.